Hey guys, so I'm here back at the shop today. We're working on Archie's 1959 Schwinn. Found out it was a 59 frame set. And over here I've got the fork all ready to be clear coated. I didn't want to wait for the stencils, so I just did my own hand-drawn unique weirdness of Schwinn arrows here for the forks. So it is what it is. I think you'll like it, and it kind of matches the rest of the bikes or some other hand painted stuff on it too. So this will kind of go with it and make it a little bit unique. So I'm about to go ahead and toss a layer of matte finish clear coat on here, and I'll let it dry for about 4 hours, and then this thing should be ready to assemble for the first time so we can see what it looks like with wheels on it and maybe even ride it. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Yeah, so I'm gonna go clear coat this and wait. Good morning. So, back on the Schwinn this morning. I finally have the frame set pretty much done. I'm not going to be using that chain ring. I just put that on there so I could see what the crank set looked like on the frame. But it's pretty much ready to go. I've got the bearing cups pushed in, the seats in. Everything is cured. There's a couple of spots I got to touch up right here. And I'll do that later as we progress, but I want to put it together and see what it looks like with the wheels on it, which are right down here, and get the right crank set on it, and get the fork and the chain guard installed, and actually have a complete bike ready to ride, even though I don't have the fenders ready yet. I've got the fork ready here. It's good to go. I've got the chain guard. It's ready to go. And all the hardware is in a bag somewhere. I'll find it. So we'll start putting this thing together. So the first thing I got to do is pull the masking tape off of this fork so I can push the bearing race onto the steer tube. It'll be a little too tight with some tape on it here, so that's why I masked this part so I wouldn't get any paint in there, because the same problem would occur. Paint is typically 1 to 3 thousandths of an inch thick, depending on how many layers, of course, and how thick your coats are being applied. Oh, you bastard. So anyway, I just gotta take that off so I can slide this race on. So that we got our race put on. It's pretty loose, just kind of spins around on there, but the crown went on pretty good. Obviously my hand-drawn prints were not very well aligned, but they look cool anyway, so I'm going to run with it. And I'm ready to apply this thing. I got to find some bearings. I'm pretty sure I put them all up, but we've got bearings around here. Bearings are everywhere. So we'll find some bearings and we'll get them installed. Okay, so I was right. These are actually the correct ones. So I'm going to put those back. I checked with another Schwinn I'm taking apart now, and it has the same bearing setup. This does go on the top with this cap. However, not with this bearing. This bearing is only for the bottom. You have to use a different bearing for the top. So I gotta find one. Luckily I have a whole bag full of these things. Just gotta find one that's the right size and profile. It's gonna be pretty skinny. See, that's way too big. Luckily I have a couple of these builds going at the same time, so I can kind of revert back to the other ones to see where I'm at. Here we go. This looks like it might work. Yeah, there we go. See, it fits perfect. Okay, I guess I'll knock these back in and we'll start over. Okay, now that we have the proper stuff in there, we can get this actually assembled here. So, got some white lid-in grease, some waterproof grease, which will help with these older bikes. And keep all that moisture out of there, keep these things from rusting. So on this, there's, I guess, two different styles of bearing, because this works perfect on the bottom here. And it says Schwinn on it, so it's not like it came from some other bike. Oh, maybe another Schwinn, but... Feels nice. We'll see what it's like after I tighten it up. Nice. Done with the grease here for a minute. Okay. Gotta find the right spacer to go in here. I'm pretty sure it was a reflector, like this one. But even that's not wanting to fit in there. Whatever it is has a really skinny key and a relatively narrow profile, so I'm gonna have to dig around for that too. This one's for a crankset. I've just got parts all over the place, and this build has been going on for so long that there's a shit that got scattered, so not much I can do about it. But that's what it looks like anyway with the fork on it, so it's coming together. The other thing I got to do is change out the chainring and put this 46 tooth chainring on there. I wanted to go with a lower one, but there's just nothing that's compatible with that crankset in the gear range that I wanted in, so we'll stick to pretty much the original gear range and use that chainring right there. So I'll probably go ahead and do that now. So this is just a 3-piece crank here. Nothing special. It came off of a Mongoose bike, I'm pretty sure. But I painted it and kind of spruced it up a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the original chainring that came on that old bike with this one so that it matches the gear ratio of the original bike a little bit more closely than the previous one. So that should be good enough. Pull that thing off of there. That was bent anyway, or I might have used it, so it goes in the trash. And this would be a good time to check chain alignment and all that fun stuff too. So slip that back on the spindle. And oh, it's in my hand here. There we go. Alignment looks good. nice. Hopefully this one's not bent. It's nice and straight. The other chainring is bent. Alright, so I got the basics put together. You can see what it's going to look like. Turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. It's a good looking bike. Especially for a 1959 Schwinn. So the rest is just all the details. Got to put the front badge back on. Some cool grips on there. Making some Vans cult grips. I could put the classic ones on there too, but come on, this is a retro mod, so. Sweet.